Dear friends, today I'm going to talk about how design thinking is useful for anyone. So, this session is going to be very much interesting and useful for all the students who are pursuing science, technology, engineering, management, humanities, or whatever background, whether you are a school student or a college student or anyone. This particular design thinking, which is emerging very fast and it is being expected by the companies from every graduate or every student who is willing to join a company and work. So, this session is going to tell you how design thinking is useful in various streams of study that you are going to do. First thing, let me tell you the outcomes of this particular session. This particular session is going to help you to connect the dots around you. What does that exactly means? You would have seen so many changes which were happening in the technology and the emerging trends, but you would not have understood very clearly what those things convey to you. But that is very much important in order to understand what exactly the field or the domain is going towards. So that is why this will greatly help you to help connect the dots which are around you and try to understand where the future is progressing towards. And the second thing is you will be able to understand how the design orientation for engineering, management, humanities, and sciences stream is going to greatly help the students who are undergoing these streams in coming out successfully with innovative ideas that can get converted into a project or a product. And also this particular session is going to give you deep insights into what your program of study is going to offer you. Apart from the list of subjects that you have as a part of the curriculum, you need to understand exactly what this study is going to offer me, because there are a lot of graduates who are without jobs, who are searching for jobs, or who are working in different field altogether than the ones they have studied. This is primarily due to the fact that they do not get what they are supposed to get from the program of study. That is what is going to be told in this session. Finally, it is going to tell what the learner should be mentally prepared for. Irrespective of whatever the program of study they are undergoing, we need to clearly understand what the learner should be prepared while doing that particular program of study, be it BSc Computer Science or BTech in Civil Engineering, BTech in Mechanical Engineering, or MBA, or whatever it is. But each student should exactly be prepared before they join that particular program, because the outcome of that particular program is going to greatly change their lives forever. So let us get into the session without wasting any time. Hope you all will have a wonderful learning experience. To start with, I'm going to ask you a simple question, wherein you are going to pause the screen for a while and you are going to answer to yourself, who is an innovator? So when I ask these questions, there may be so many answers that may be coming into your minds. So you may pause this particular slide for a minute and try to come out with some kind of answer and check what answer I'm going to tell you, to cross verify whether your perception of an innovator is exactly matching with what a typical innovator does. An innovator is one who is going to make things easy for the mankind. Take any such innovation which is around you, right from the shirt that you wear, right from the fan, ceiling fan, which is being used in our house in every day, from the bike that you travel or the bus that you travel in. All those things are made by an innovator in order to make the life easy for the people. So this is what exactly innovation is. So innovator is someone who makes this planet a livable place, as I told you before, and someone who makes your day-to-day task very easy, and someone who cannot tolerate people suffering. So any person who's going to bring you some kind of device, some kind of solution, some kind of product or a service in order to prevent the people from suffering on doing something very, very tough way, then that person is called an innovator. Having said what innovation is all about and what the innovator does, the process that the innovator undergoes is of 5 steps. The first one is the analysis, second one is the design, third one is the implementation, fourth one is the testing, and the fifth one is the maintenance. This must be known to every student irrespective of whatever program of study that they do, primarily because each student who is doing different branches of study will definitely undergo these things irrespective of their program of study, because analysis, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance is not only applicable for engineering, it is applicable for every field of study, because in every field of study, the outcome is to serve the public in some way or the other, either directly or indirectly. So, how good the higher education in India is? Why I'm asking this question immediately after the process stage is that we need to understand where we are lacking in. That is why I have listed a few things on exactly telling you how good the higher education scenario in India is. There is a big argument which is going on between the people of any institute between the certification or the skill. So I would ask you the same question again. Which one do you think is mostly needed? Whether a certification is needed or a skill is needed? Many of the people would say skill is needed. Many others would say certification is needed. Some of them would say both certification and skills are both required. But actually seeing these days, big companies like Apple, Google, all those people are not expecting people to have certificates at all, provided if they are able to showcase their skills in an effective way. So that is why I'm telling you it is the skill that matters the most. But how do you convey someone that you have that skill? That is through the testimonial, that is what we call a certificate. So it is better that if you are having a certificate, you should always have the skill as well, because your certificate will not have any value without skill. But sometimes your skill will have a value even though you are not having a certificate. And the second point is 3 out of 4 graduates are not industry ready. This is also not with respect to engineering only. This is with respect to any graduate that I am talking about. 3/4 of the graduates are not industry ready. What does that convey? So that means the outcome of each program of study is not attained by the students by the end of their 3 or 4 years of study. So that is why industries are finding it very difficult, even though there is a huge demand for any kind of graduate. The graduates are not able to get successful opportunities primarily because they are not industry ready. What does industry ready means? Industry ready means the graduate should be aware of the big picture on which the industry is working in, and they should have better common sense and a greater foundational idea about their domain of study. That I will discuss in detail with you sometime later. And the other reason is very few successful entrepreneurs are being created or being produced by the higher education institutes in India. If you see most of the higher education institutes, except the few elite IITs and IIMs, very few entrepreneurs are coming out of the institute. That means the institute is not providing the enough of support to the entrepreneurs, or it is the mindset of the students or the fear of failure is what is preventing them to become a successful entrepreneur. This is also one of the reasons why the higher education is not flourishing as it is being there in the developed countries. And the fourth more important point is that white collar jobs. You would have all heard about the white collar jobs, right? So if I say white collar jobs, what do you think in your mind? You may give a pause for this slide and test with your answer. White collar jobs are nothing but the people who work in the service industry. So they don't create anything new, but rather they will be doing some repeated tasks as advised by the people in that respective organization. But recently, there is a new category of jobs which is emerging, which is called blue collar jobs. But I'm not going to explain you what blue collar jobs are all about. You're going to Google it and try to understand what blue collar jobs are all about. But have you heard something called no collar jobs? Neither the blue collar nor the white collar. Actually, it means that there are certain kind of students who are going to be prepared for the future in such a way that they are neither going to do service nor going to be doing some other kind of jobs. Rather, they are going to be into something which is going to cause huge job loss to the other students who are going to take up the white collar jobs. So that is what no collar jobs are all about. That we will also discuss in detail in the further slides. And this is one of the interesting facts that I wanted to share with you. More than 90% of the startups in India fail in their first 5 years. This is very shocking. Actually speaking, even though there are less number of startups being produced by the institutes, Even among those less number of startups being produced by the institutes, 90% of them fail in the first 5 years is a very sad point. And do you know what is the reason for this? This is primarily due to the lack of design thinking. So, if you ever wanted to be a successful entrepreneur in the future, you must be very much good at design thinking. Not only that, then you may get a question like, is design thinking only for the students who would aspire to become entrepreneurs? Not exactly. Even if you want to be successful in the employment, or if you want to be successful in your higher studies, or what you wanted to do after higher studies, you must be good at design thinking, because design thinking is something which is very, very much basic and which we all Indians had till 100 or 200 years back, but we lost it completely due to some reason, which I'm going to discuss with you at the later part of this slide. So, what's wrong? This is the question that I've asked you. Why the startups are failing? I already told you the answer. Let us revisit the process. Now you can give a pause to this slide and try to recollect what are all the 5 stages that I have told you already. Just to check whether you are able to recollect what the 5 stages that every graduate undergoes through their career. Let me repeat them. They are analysis, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance. When you are going to create a product or a service or a solution, you have to undergo all these 5 stages. But the reason why, even though we follow the 5 stages, the startups are failing, or we are focusing only on stage 3, 4, and 5. All we people are good at implementation, either implementation or testing or maintenance. So this is what we call as the white collar jobs, right? So this is only is happening with the developing countries, where most of the developed countries are good at doing the phases 1 and 2. That is why they are very much successful, and they are very much innovative, and they are able to create new products and solutions which are being developed by the people or the students from the developing countries, because they don't want to get into stage 3, 4, and 5, which hardly requires less knowledge on a particular area, so that they will be able to do things repeatedly again and again. But you may wonder, my super seniors have not faced any problem. Why you are telling all these things to me? Is it that only the pandemic batch is going to experience all these things, or why not these kind of problems were not told by our seniors in the past years? But actually, you need to remember one thing. When your seniors have graduated, when I say seniors, not the immediate seniors that I'm talking about, all your immediate seniors have undergone design thinking as well, in order to ensure that they don't face some kind of challenge that is emerging, which was not there in place around 5 to even 10 to 15 years back. During those days, whenever some of the students are good at implementation, maintenance, or testing, that is more than sufficient for them to be placed with better packages. But these days, that is only not enough. The reason being, there are too many people in our country who are good at all these things. So it is quite easy for the interviewers to pick people from the elite institutes and elite universities, the top performing students on those 3 aspects, and straight away offer them the job opportunities. But how am I going to sustain in this future employability opportunities that I'm going to get? So that is where we need to focus differently, and that is what I'm going to tell you how. Before that, what is the one thing that is going to steal away the opportunities from me? For that, I have a question in front of you. What is the reason why I should undergo this design thinking? What is that one thing that is going to steal away the opportunities in front of me, which is causing trouble to me? For that, the answer is also given on the screen. Take a pause of this video and tell me what exactly is on the screen. Everybody knows that it is a washing machine. But apart from that, anything else that you can relate with respect to this washing machine, about the factor that is going to take away the job opportunities from people who are only good at implementation, maintenance, and testing, right? So what is that factor? That factor is called automation. So when I say automation, it is going to replace the manual labor wherein the repeated tasks are being performed. I can give you an example, right? So the example is elevator, right? I'll get back to the other slides later. The example that I can give you with respect to the automation is elevator. Earlier days, you used to see in elevators, there used to be a person standing or sitting on the stool operating the elevator. He is called the elevator operator, right? Or lift operator. But actually, do we require a lift operator at all? It's not needed, because it is during those days the lift doors were not having sensors. That is why there must be someone to guide people to get inside the lift or hold the button for a while until people are getting inside. Since then, when the sensors were introduced as a part of the elevators, it is not at all required. The lift operator is not at all required, because anyone can operate the lift that easily, because it is an automated machine wherein you just have to get in and press the floor number and it will automatically take you. And you don't believe there is a separate algorithm on which it works, that is called the elevator algorithm, based on which it will exactly identify which floors are pressed by the people and which floors the lift should be taking people to, and whether the people who are waiting outside the elevators, how long they should be waiting, which floor it should go first, and when it should come back and all, in order to make it very effective. So this is one of the automation device that I'm talking about, right? So what is automation? Automation is nothing but removing the manual intervention as much as possible. So that is what is going to cause huge job loss to majority of the people who are doing the repeated tasks, right? There are three types of automation that I'm quickly going through. One is called the fixed automation. You can see an example of a gas filling station in which the cylinders will be filled with gas, the liquid petroleum gas. In this case, fixed automation means it will be doing repeatedly the same thing again and again. As and when the cylinder moves down the line, it will be filling the gas in the cylinders, and it will be doing repeatedly the same thing. This is what we call as fixed automation. The other kind of automation is called programmable automation, wherein I have given the example of a 3D printer. Programmable automation is where you need not have to wait until the product is being created. You just have to program it and then ensure that the product is automatically being created. So this is one form of automation wherein the human intervention required will be very less. But this is called programmable automation because it's not going to do the same kind of product again and again. As and when you want to change the product that you want to create, you need to reprogram it. So that is why based on your program, it will be recreating the product. The third type of automation is what we call as flexible automation, wherein it will be capable of doing both fixed as well as the programmable automation, and also different parts will do different automotive tasks. For example, if you take the car assembling unit, some of the robots will be assembling the doors of the car. Some other robots will be fitting the wheels. So this is the kind of automation where you can mix match them in a sequence, or you can put them in different order in order to do multiple things simultaneously, so that they coordinate among themselves and then make the work completed within a short span of time. So which one of these three automations which I have mentioned is the higher level of automation? This is a question to you. So you may answer it and later verify your answer. The highermost level of automation is the flexible automation. The reason being, in fixed automation, if you are removing the cylinder and you are keeping something else, it will be finding it difficult to identify whether it is a cylinder or not. And it may happen that it may just think that it is filling the gas, but it may not be in a cylinder, or the cylinder may have some kind of hole in it by which the gas may be leaking, causing risk to the lives. Whereas in the case of flexible automation, along with the automation unit, there will be sensors which will be exactly identifying what is going on, and when something goes wrong, it immediately stops the entire operation. Thereby it will save lives. So this is how the evolution of the automation has taken place. So the fixed automation is where it is inflexible. There is no ability to change the product. Reason being, it is devised for filling up the gas cylinders only. So you cannot use it for any other purpose. Whereas in the case of programmable automation, you have the ability to change the kind of product that you want to make by reprogramming it. And in fully flexible automation is where you will be able to convert between the product or the process. Sometimes if you don't want to do the door assembly, if the doors have been assembled already, you may stop that portion alone so that the rest of the portions will work as usual. Automation is there in every field. Some of the people may think like there are certain things which cannot be automated. That is why I gave this particular example. This is one of the automation which is being used in one of the developed countries, wherein the usual masonry is done through automated tools just to test whether it can do better than a normal mason who does this task. It has greatly reduced the time required to construct the wall and make it more precise without any human errors. Another example of this smart automation is this distribution line. You can see in this particular diagram. So this is about smart energy system in which right from the distribution to the consumption of the electricity, it is completely taken care by the automated network, which will ensure that the energy is uniformly distributed to all the people based on their requirements. By this, the wastage with respect to the energy can be avoided, and at the same time it will greatly benefit the consumption of energy by various people and various sectors. Another important use case of automation is the Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution. Starting from the first revolution, wherein the industries were purely having mechanical components, and in the second industrial revolution, it was electricity, invention of electricity, because of which all the machines have turned into electrical machines rather than being mechanically operated. In the third industrial revolution, it was primarily on the usage of the microcontrollers or the electronic chips inside the machines in order to do some basic level of automation using the electricity. And the fourth industrial revolution is all about Internet of Things. We call it as Industrial Internet of Things, wherein all the equipments are connected and each of these equipments are given an IP address in order for communicating with them even remotely. So the owner of the factory need not have to come to the factory in order to operate it. Rather, they can operate the entire factory over the mobile phones. In such a case, large amount of manpower can be greatly reduced, and there will be very less requirement of manpower, and that too the skilled manpower only will be required if at all there goes anything wrong with respect to the automation. So this is the reason, primary reason why majority of the workforce will be out of jobs if they are doing the repeated works. So that is the reason why we need to ensure that all the future generation students should not be learning to do something which can be immediately replaceable by the programming or robots. The another important area that everyone knows is artificial intelligence. I need not have to tell you the name of the movie, which is I, Robot. You would have also seen this movie where humanoid robots were made in order to replace some of the works that are done by human beings. And by the end of the movie, they would have shown like it would have completely taken over the control of the city. That and all are the other aspects. But what I would like to tell you is artificial intelligence also plays a vital role with respect to controlling certain equipments in such a way that there need not be any human intervention even if there is some failure. As I told you before, in automation it will be repeatedly doing everything, but if there is any problem in between, it won't be able to resolve the problem of its own. It can just stop working, and further to that only a human being has to interfere in order to resolve that problem. But artificial intelligence greatly helps in resolving that problem by applying intelligence to some extent so that the problem can be mitigated. There is a word called mitigation. Mitigation means it won't cause that much impact of suddenly stopping. So artificial intelligence in the near future is going to come in a big way. Along with artificial intelligence, if the automation also gets combined, it will lead to a new category which is called intelligent automation, right? So intelligent automation is a combination of artificial intelligence and automation. For that, I wanted to show you an example of intelligent automation. So here is an example. Just listen to this video. I hope some of you would have seen this video before.
Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
Hope you have seen the video. In that particular video, the voice that has interacted with the salon owner or salon shop. Hope you would have seen that video. In that particular video, the voice that has interacted with the saloon keeper is the intelligent software which was created by Google. Actually, this is what we call as intelligent automation, because this is a part of automation. Instead of a human being calling the salon and booking the appointment, the software itself is capable of doing that. But why we call it as intelligent automation is, it is not just like calling and sending some message or just telling something alone. It is interacting with the human being, right? So many of you would have known about IVRS. You can give a pass and you can answer what IVRS is. It is related to mobile phones, or it is related to phones, telephones. So IVRS means interactive voice response system. Whenever you call Airtel or any other service, they will be telling you to repeatedly press different numbers in order to connect to the customer care or something. So that is what we call as interactive voice response system. Is it an example for automation or intelligent automation? This also you should answer, because that should help you to understand what is the difference between automation and an intelligent automation. So the answer for that is, it is just an automation. It's not intelligent automation, because it is expecting you to just press the numbers. It is not able to do anything other than that. You cannot directly speak to it over the voice. You can just press the numbers and it will be responding purely based on the number that you have pressed in a standard way for everyone. When you say intelligent automation, the machine will be able to accommodate itself based on the kind of replies that are being obtained. In this particular example that we have seen in the video, based on the response from the saloon keeper, the software is able to automatically ask the next question. So this is what we call as conversational AI. Conversational AI is something where the artificial intelligence is used for normal human conversations. Right? Further things I will discuss with you at a later stage on some other discussion. But right now, moving ahead, what I'm trying to tell you is, there are two major technologies which is going to play a vital role in the future. One is RPA, robotic process automation, and the other one is artificial intelligence. When they were separated, when they were isolated, they were doing their own tasks separately. Like RPA was taking care of automating something, repeatedly doing something, and artificial intelligence was focusing only on working on algorithms that are capable of uh, evolving over the period of time, evolving like a human brain. But when they both got combined, that is where a new terminology has evolved, which is called intelligent automation. It is this intelligent automation which is going to cause huge job loss for many of the people across the globe. So this is primarily due to automation applied with intelligence, right? The best example for another best example for automation intelligence is self-driving cars, right? Many of you would have heard about Tesla self-driving cars. So they are automating something, like rather than a driver driving the car, it is driving by itself. But it is not just a mere automation, it is automation intelligence. Reason being, it needs to understand the road situation and apply the brakes accordingly. It needs to speed up or speed down in different places, right? In all these kind of cars, there is some core technology which is involved in order to ensure that the car don't meet with an accident. Can anyone guess what is that core technology called in computer terms? Even though you do not know about it, not a problem, but you should be knowing, like you should be thinking at least how these cars are able to run on their own, right? There may be so many softwares inside, so many hardwares inside, that is a different thing. But how these cars are able to see like human beings seeing the road and able to drive by themselves. So they need something to see, right? You all know what is used instead of a human eye in these kind of machines to see what is happening. Yes, you are right. It is the camera, but we call the technology as computer vision, right? So whatever it is seeing, however the brain is processing our vision, whatever the camera is seeing, the computer vision will be processing that and take appropriate action through the artificial intelligence. So what the future graduates, what is the future of the graduates be like? So when I say like most of the jobs will be stolen and taken away from the people through this automation intelligence, what the future of the graduates be like? The future graduates must be able to do more than just the technical tasks only, because if you are good at something, if you are good at a particular technology, sometime later the technology will be automated and you don't have to be there literally in order to do that particular task. So rather than doing some technological work only, you need to be doing some higher level of things that is meant for human beings. But one more interesting thing that I can tell you at this stage is that artificial intelligence capacity till date has not grown more than 5 to 8 year child's mental ability. Reason being, it is not that easy to get that much of ability as a human being is having, mental ability that the human being is having to a machine, because it requires lot and lot of processing, it requires lot and lot of computation and lot of evolution. So that will take a lot of time. So that is why the machines that has evolved till date are matching up only with the to the extent of 5 to 8 years child's mental ability only. So in that case, being an adult, we can think much better than what a child can think. So that is the way we need to think for the future. Whatever the things that the machines cannot do, we need to be choosing that kind of things for the future. And also we should be responsible for creating more ideas and solutions and seeing how they can be implemented, which cannot be done by a machine that easily. And you should not just be an innovator, you should also make sure that the innovation becomes a reality. So all these areas is where the graduates of the future has to focus, so that you and your job won't get stolen away by these technologies. So when it comes to innovation, you need to know what exactly is innovation, right? So everyone knows the difference between a discovery and an innovation. Discovery is finding out something which is already existing, which is not known to anyone before, but it was existing already. But innovation is something which is finding a new thing altogether, right? So take the example of Falcon 9. I do not know how many of you are aware of Falcon 9. So this is a rocket from SpaceX, right? So this particular rocket is something special. Can you guess what it is? You can pass and guess. It is the first of its kind repurposable launch vehicle. Repurposable launch vehicles are the ones which can be sent to the space and it can come back to the same place from where it was ejected, right? So it's not that easy to bring back a rocket after sending it to the space and getting back and placing it in the place from where it was ejected, right? So this was something incredible innovation of the entire humankind, and this is why the founder of this company, SpaceX company, is so popular, and he is the billionaire of the world, right? So this kind of achievement is not usually possible for every human being, every innovator, but he tried something which is out of the box, and he wanted to do this and show to the humankind that this is very much possible. But do you believe on what basis or on what foundation principle he has created this? It is very simple. In the childhood, we would have done holding a stick in one of the fingers and try to balance it for a long time. It is the very same principle with which this repurposable launch vehicle is brought back to the same place from where it was ejected, right? So how does the innovation start? So everybody wants to become an innovator because innovation is the only way that can save us from robots, and automation intelligence or intelligent automation is going to steal the jobs from us. So in that case, how to start innovation? As rightly said by Dr. APJ Kalam, you need to start dreaming a lot. Dreaming doesn't mean like dreaming of movie stars or anything. So dreaming is about dreaming an idea that will definitely help you to convert that into a product or a service or a solution. So that dream should get transformed into thoughts, and thoughts should get transformed into action. So that is very much important, but majority of us would only dream. We don't go to the next stage of transforming that dreams into thoughts. So transforming that dreams into thoughts means you are giving a shape to that particular dream that you have in order to ensure that you are able to carry it forward further. And transforming the thoughts into action is where you will be bringing in your team and make them understand what that particular dream is all about and how you visualize that product or a solution or the innovation, and try to make sure that your entire team works with you in order to achieve that. So many of you would have heard of the term technopreneur, right? So gone are those days we call anyone as an entrepreneur only, because all these people have become technopreneurs these days, except a few people who are not into technology, but they are still an entrepreneur. All the remaining people who are becoming entrepreneur these days, particularly during the pandemic, they are all to be called as technopreneurs only, because most of them are utilizing some technology or the other in order to be successful in the entrepreneurship venture that they have made. One such entrepreneur or technopreneur is this Elon Musk, whose company is this SpaceX and Tesla, right? So you need to make sure that technology is applied somewhere, be it agriculture, be it pharmacy, be it any program of study that you do. Technology should be applied for the kind of products or solution that you are giving in order to reach to the customers more effectively. Why should I innovate? Okay, having said that, there is a strong reason for you people to innovate, otherwise the automation intelligence will take away the jobs that you may land in. The other reason is to be more patriotic. We need to make our country a developed country. You would have heard that people saying that India is a developing country. Not only you would have heard it, even I would have heard it, even my parents would have heard it. So it is for generations we are telling that India is a developing country. It is going never ending, and we are not becoming a developed country also very soon. The reason being, every graduate, if they are able to attain their outcome of their program of study, then only the country can become a developed country. Then only the country can create something on its own and sustain by itself. That is what is the next point, that is called self-sustainability. That is what the Prime Minister insists, which is called Atmanirbhar Bharat. That means we need to become a self-sustainable country. We should not rely on anybody for anything. You remember by the time at the beginning of the pandemic, this company named ByteDance, Can you recall what I am trying to tell? The name of the company is ByteDance. What is their product, which was banned in India at the beginning of the pandemic? Yeah, your guess is correct. It is the TikTok, right? So it was banned because it is from some other country, and you know the reason behind it. The immediately when this TikTok was banned, the people felt that there was to the tune of 43,000 crores they were earning from the Indian customers just by watching it through the advertisements, through other data collection. They were earning to the tune of 43,000 crores, right, through a simple application which people were using. But by the end of the pandemic, first wave, the Indians have come out with some strong opinion that we should have such kind of applications built in India, and many have started it. I appreciate those who really wanted to make one for the country, but till date, are we using any Indian company made such application as popular as that of TikTok? It is not. The reason being, we are capable, we are very much capable, because most of the Indians are working in big software development companies and contributing to their development. But where it is not possible to make it on our own is the first two stages which I told you. That is the requirement analysis and the design, right? So it is because of the lack of requirement analysis and design, we are not able to make a successful product. I'm not telling only India, any developing country I'm telling you. How they are different from the developed country is that way only. So in developed countries, they focus primarily on the first two stages, that is requirement analysis and design, and the remaining three stages for which they will be utilizing people from across the globe so that they get cheap labor to do all the three tasks. And that is where we are stuck. Most of us are getting employed into those kind of companies which repeatedly tell us to do something rather than making us to think and identify the requirements and design our own product or a solution. If we are capable of doing that, the remaining three stages also we are good at. So altogether, this country will become completely self-sustainable. So that is why we have introduced this course called Design Thinking, which is very much important for any student. We would say like this is important for any student, irrespective of whether they study in our university or other university. This is open. This course is very much needed for anyone. I would say not even a student, those who are already working in some company, those who are uneducated also, they need to know what exactly design thinking is. They need not have to do anything else. They need to know what design thinking is all about. Then only they can design think their own future and try to apply their thoughts to convert it into action, right? So there are so much of unexplored territories also. That is the reason why you have to innovate, because the pandemic has shown us a lot of opportunities which are still untouched. We may be thinking like most of the opportunities that are given to us are only by the companies, but it's not the case. There are so many opportunities with big companies have not even touched upon. So those are the unexplored territories that we need to select, and we need to apply our design thinking and come out with an innovative solution for the same. So this will also help you to get an increased revenue generation rather than getting stuck with 9 to 5 jobs, which is causing a lot of work-life balance issues to so many people across the globe. So what qualities do innovators possess? So this is just a gist which was taken from all the opinions of different innovators, right? So innovators think that there is a better way. Always innovators won't get satisfied. If they see any product or a solution, they will think like, why not we do it in a different way so that it can be even more effective. So if that quality is there in you, you are an innovator as well, right? If you are accepting everything that is given to you as such, be it a ceiling fan, be it a computer, be it a speaker, be it a phone, if you are okay with anything that you are having, you don't want something to be different, then that innovation quality is not there in you. So you need to improve. You need to see everything from the perspective that there can be a better way of doing it. Second thing is, innovators know that without passion there can be no innovation. You cannot straight away start innovating something if you do not have a passion on something. Why should you innovate, right? If you are finding a problem, you should be passionate about solving it. Then only you will get the feel to innovate and do something different in order to solve that particular problem. And the third thing is innovators embrace change to a fault, right? So innovators always take the change positively, right? Rather than thinking of it as a fault or a mistake, they take the change in a positive way, right? If there is something wrong, they are ready to accept it, and they'll be ready to go ahead correcting that in order to make it more effective. And fourth one is innovators have a strong point of view but know that they are missing something. Even though they are very strong in their opinion that we have to do it, but still they will be continuously inquisitive in understanding what else we are missing, because they won't get completely satisfied that my solution is always the best. They will again and again think what is that we are missing, what way it can be made even more effective. Even though it is my own solution, I need to repeatedly think on that. So what exactly is design? Because right from the beginning I have been telling you about design thinking, right? So you need to know what exactly is design and what is thinking, and why is it called design thinking. Everybody knows that design is the third step of the process which I told you. Remember, second step, analysis, design, implement, test and maintenance. So design is the second step in the process through which we can create a product or a solution. But design is the plan for the construction of a product. So when I say requirement analysis, the first step, it is about understanding the requirements. Once you understand the requirements, you need to make a plan, right? In order to make the plan, you need to consider so many factors into account. You need to talk to so many people. You need to really understand whether the requirements that you have collected is matching with the plan that you are making. If there is a mismatch between the requirements that you have collected and the plan that you are making, the final product will not be that efficient. And that is the reason why I shown you some slide that 90% of these startups fail in first 5 years, only because they would have taken some requirements from the people and immediately started developing it without planning in detail. Actually speaking, this requirements and planning only will take majority of the time. You need not have to spend majority of the time in implementing something if you spend enough time in the requirements and planning to develop that particular solution. This is one of the design example that I would tell you. Can anyone guess what it is? Yes, it is in the form of a sunflower, but it is full of solar panels. There is one thing extra here. These solar panels can automatically unfold itself, right? It can fold and unfold by itself, and also it can align itself towards the direction of the sun, right? This is such a wonderful innovation. Usually we have solar panels everywhere, but this particular innovation was inspired from the sunflower. However, the sunflower turns its head towards the sun. That is very much required for a solar panel. The more it turns towards the sun, the more light it can receive. The more light it can receive, the more energy it can save. So on that, they thought of it and they designed such a solar panel which automatically folds and unfolds. Why it should fold and unfold automatically? It need not be open during the night time unnecessarily, right? And when there is a dusty situation, it can unfold itself or it can clean itself. These are the aspects that were considered towards designing this particular solar panel. So why design orientation is important? Higher order thinking is very much important if you want to compete with the machines. So if you really want to compete with the machines in the future, you are not going to be told to run with the machine. Rather, whatever jobs that they are able to do, you need not have to do that jobs at all. You need to do something higher order than what they are capable of doing. In order for that, you need to have good design thinking. To approach the subjects you study from the application point of view. So this is also one of the reasons why you need to know design thinking. It is not only for the sake of innovating something. You need to know what subjects you are studying, how best you can study the subject, what way the subjects can help you in the future. All those things can be easily done if you are aware of what design thinking is all about. And third point is helps to realize the importance of the subjects you learn and the way it helps in shaping you to become a full-fledged engineer or manager or anything as per your profession. You can put that last job role, right? So it will help you to understand the importance of the subject, and make you to study even more effectively that particular subject, right? What do I get out of a design oriented curriculum? When you have your entire curriculum design oriented, that means having studied design thinking, and if your entire curriculum is made design oriented, then you get the following advantages. So you will be able to look around the problems and opportunities around you. Every subject you study will make you to think the problems around you and the opportunities around you. And the attitude towards approaching the problem will be changing, right? It's not just the engineering attitude, it may be the attitude as a manager or attitude as any other profession that you are in. The attitude towards approaching a problem will totally change. The zeal to attack a problem with proper planning and work towards a potential solution. You will get an enhanced interest towards attacking the problem, and at last, the capacity to assess the existing solution and get deeper insights into it for further improvement. So you will also be able to analyze the existing products, not only create new one, you will be able to analyze the existing products, and you will be able to get the insights on how that product was made, how it can be improved in order to make even more effective product. So what should you be mentally prepared for is to become a successful engineer or a manager or a physicist or whatever it is, right? So that is what you need to be prepared for, and you should have the hunger to learn. That is more important, and be passionate in exploring the world of possibilities, because you should not restrict yourself for the limited job roles that the program of study is going to offer you. And you should not be afraid of failures, because when you are learning design thinking, you will definitely get the motivation to approach any problem in a different way. During the path of approaching the problems, you will get so many other issues that you may need to solve. So if you learn design thinking properly, then you can convert your passion into your profession. So this is what people are looking out for, primarily those who are aspiring to become entrepreneur, or those who want to pursue higher studies, or those who want to take up the job opportunities. Their ultimate aim in life is to make sure that the passion and profession doesn't go on two different tracks. Because most of the people who are passionate about something, their profession may not be allowing that to be done. So in order to overcome that, you need to be good at design thinking, so that you can choose the appropriate passion area of yours, and you can apply design thinking and the knowledge that you have gained through your education in order to apply design thinking over that area and become successful. One such example I can show you, these two people who are playing guitar. Their passionate area is music, but however, they wanted to do something different with respect to their passionate area. So what you can see additionally along with those two men is the avatars. As you know that these are the virtual characters which are created in place of the actual players, right? So creating the virtual avatars and being along with them and doing a music show will look extremely wonderful. So this way you can apply design thinking to the passionate area and make your dream come true. So finally, you may ask a question, what should I do now? The ultimate thing that you should do immediately is to start thinking of a problem that you really want to resolve and start applying design thinking in order to solve that problem. So how do I do that? So those students who are undergoing any kind of education in any educational institute, usually most of these emerging institutes these days claim that they are offering this project-based learning. In my opinion, project-based learning is nothing but you need to choose your dream project and start working on the knowledge that you required in order to achieve that dream project, the dream to come true, right? So instead of doing some project on what you have learned already, you change your perception altogether and try to dream on a project that you want to do for your lifetime. That is going to be your passion area. That is going to take you to better opportunities and better heights. So in that way, you need to choose a dream project. For that, you need to think a lot around you, and you need to identify your passionate area and choose that dream project and start working on acquiring the necessary knowledge and apply design thinking in order to identify the root cause of the problem and the 360-degree aspects around the problem in order to effectively convert the problem into a solution. So most people think like, why should I think about the project at the first year of study or second year of study itself? Usually the projects come in the third or fourth year of study only, but actually it is not the case. If you start working on in this very same old method of doing the project only in the last year or the penultimate year, that is not going to really help you, because industries expect people who solve real-time problems, real-time challenges. So anybody who is going to solve the problem right from the first day of their study will be given better opportunity over the other people who just do the projects only for the sake of the completion of the degree. So projects need not be done only in the final year. You may start very well in the first and second year itself. All that you have to do is to identify a problem that you are going to address, because people are not interested to what extent you have given a solution to a problem. Rather, they see how you exactly approach the problem. That is most important these days, because in the industry, when they are planning to work on new challenging areas, they need people who can understand or approach the problem in a better way, rather than trying to give an immediate solution for the same. And all that you require is the design thinking alone, because some people may think like it requires a lot of knowledge to handle a project. That is why people are doing project in the final year. It is to some extent it is correct, because people used to call the project as a capstone. Capstone means something which you do by accumulating the knowledge from across various subjects. Then only you will be able to handle that particular problem. But actually speaking, whenever you start doing the requirement analysis and design in the first few years, if you spend mostly on requirement analysis and design, whenever you get the knowledge, required knowledge, you will be able to proceed further with the third, fourth and fifth stage of the product or the process development. So here the requirement analysis and the design itself should take a lot of time. But what mistake that we commonly do is we straight away do the project and we straight away start requirement analysis and design only at the final year. Since we don't get enough time, and majority of the time in a project is purely based on requirement analysis and design, we don't spend much time on that and straight away start addressing the problem. That is why it is leading to a failure. So my advice is, start early, focus more on requirement analysis and design. That does not require a lot of technical knowledge. All it requires is common sense. So you just have to look properly around the problem and try to identify what are all the issues that are associated with the problem. And also people think like every project should result in a product. Actually it is not the case. Not necessarily that every project should be made a product only. Sometimes your project that you are taking may become a solution rather than a product. Sometimes it may become a service rather than a product, right? Sometimes it may become a model, sometimes it may become a procedure. So anything it can be. That depends on what stream of study you are going through. For example, if you are a student of law, then your project need not be some kind of product. Rather, it can be a procedure that can help improve the existing problems that are being faced in this society. Also, people are of the opinion that I should not fail, because if you do your project in the final year of study only, then you are very much worried about failing in that project, because failing in that project would lead to a disaster with respect to your scores. So that is why we are very much afraid to fail, and that is why we do try make up something and try to get some kind of outcome, and we'll be happy to get the scores for the project. But if you start early, you have better chances of failing, so that that failure won't affect you in a big way. So that is why I would say, like, those who fail big only can learn big. That is my advice to my students always. So don't hesitate to fail in anything, because a failure will not completely make you to lose anything. So all that you have to do is that courage to have the failure in order to ensure that you are able to come out successfully the next time. So what challenges are there for the entrepreneurs and for the innovators? I would propose some challenges to all the innovators out there, because there may be so many students who may be watching this video and who are about to undergo the design thinking course. which is offered by the university or through your self-learning. But don't take up this particular design thinking course only from the course perspective. You think of it as a provision for you to come out successfully and become an innovator, right? So you need not become an entrepreneur, but you can be an innovator at any point of life. So for those innovators who are out there who are thinking of becoming an innovator, start dreaming for the next 3 days and identify a potential problem around you before you actually start getting into the design thinking course. It may be relevant to any domain. It may be relevant to healthcare or education or environment or anything related to the current pandemic situation or any other thing that greatly affects you, makes you feel bad, so that only you can become a successful entrepreneur. Once you are becoming a successful innovator, then you will feel the happiness of the real education. And text me the problem that you have in mind to solve. Then Zoom, I'll take you through that particular problem statement and help you to complete that particular problem statement into a potential solution parallelly when you are going through the design thinking course. One more important advice to those people who are out there, because if at all you want to have a professional connect with anyone, even with me, I would suggest you to create the LinkedIn account. So LinkedIn is like Facebook for the professionals, but you get a lot of opportunities to mix and interact with wide variety of professionals from across the world. And this is a wonderful platform for you to understand what exactly happening in various fields of study, so that it will be easy for you to reach out to anyone. So the importance of professional network is not just connecting with the professionals alone. It will be helping you to do a company research. For example, if you really want to take up a job opportunity in a particular type of company, then you may do a company research on this platform to understand exactly what that company is doing, what their employees are contributing and everything through their posts. And you will get benefited by the recommendations also. For example, if you are a student who is working under a professor and you have made a project, wonderful project under the guidance of a professor, you may get the recommendation from the professor over the LinkedIn. So this will be of great help to you whenever you want to pursue higher studies or whenever you want to take up a job opportunity. So the company people will really value the real recommendations that are given by people that will greatly help you to boost your testimonial as well. Also, it will help the companies to find you. Sometimes it may not be needed for you to approach each and every company based on your achievements. Rather, you just ensure that you are there in LinkedIn and you are just continuously posting your achievements and posting the recommendations from people and highlighting and publicizing your projects that you have done. Definitely companies will reach you one day, because companies are currently working on identifying the talents through LinkedIn platform by automation, right? So that is going to be a reality in someday in near future. So that will help you to get direct opportunities in your mails or through LinkedIn messages based on the achievements that you publicize. So finally, LinkedIn can land you in international jobs also, because since all the international professionals are available over LinkedIn, so it may very much happen that if you do something which is impressive and interesting for any of these companies abroad, then that will help you to secure a better opportunity. So create your LinkedIn account today and start communicating with me. I would like to hear people to about their problem statement. I want you to just send it in this format to me over the LinkedIn message. Your name followed by the domain in which you want to address a problem. For example, it can be healthcare. You need to mention what exactly the problem that you are planning to address. For example, I have given an app to track the movement to alert the chances of getting infected from COVID. So since there are so many people who are getting affected by COVID, by the time you enter into that location, it will be automatically able to give the alert message that so many other infected people are in that region, so that you can plan accordingly. Last but not the least, I would like to share the 10 rules of success shared by Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. These 10 were the most effective ones if anybody follows in their life. First thing is that think about what's next, because always as an innovator you need to be continuously looking around you to see what next in each and everything, because if you are coming out with a passionate problem statement which you need to address, you need to see what next in that. in order to take towards a more potential solution. Second one is empower people, because always it's not possible for you as a single person to think of all the possibilities around a problem statement. It requires multiple minds to think on it, and multiple perspectives are needed. So that is why it is always better to empower the people by sensitizing them on that particular problem and make it as a team effort. Third thing is, it is the ideas that matters a lot, because towards solving a problem, the most important thing is to try and test wide variety of ideas rather than straight away coming out with a particular idea and claiming that to be a solution. We need to ensure that the more ideas coming from more people, it is easy for us to understand exactly which one would work better for a particular problem statement. And also you need to take risks as and when possible, because as an innovator you need to ensure that you need to go a mile ahead. So that won't be possible without taking risk. The best example I could give you is that of the Elon Musk, who did his experiments for the Falcon, a repurposable launch vehicle, as I have shown you in one of the previous slides. So it is only by taking the risks we may be able to achieve better. So it is always suggested to take risks at the appropriate intervals. Fifth one is be an optimist, because the solutions that you may get immediately may be satisfying for you, but it may not be the best solution for that problem statement. So always you need to ensure that you are striving towards the best solution possible over the versions of your product or the solution. So that only can make your product or the solution to be an optimal one. Seventh point is follow your dreams. So whenever you are working towards solving a particular problem, it is always your dreams that will be telling you or guiding you towards the ultimate destiny with respect to that particular problem statement. So you should always follow your dreams. You should not do something because that somebody else is doing it, somebody else is saying it. You need to follow your own dreams and your own passion. That will subconsciously work in your mind repeatedly day after day, and it will be automatically taking you towards the destiny. Eighth one is have a good morning routine, because unless you are being healthy, you won't get a sound mind unless your body is sound enough. So it's better to always be healthy. You have a good morning routine so that you keep yourself fit, at the same time you always stay alert. And ninth one is do what you love, which is similar to that of following your dreams. So keep doing things. See, as Dr. Kalam said, like, convert your thoughts into action. Whenever your thoughts are there, you need to convert it into action. That is possible only when you are doing something which you really love. So that is most important. And 10th one is push yourself. At times we may get fed up, because it's not going to be an easy track for the innovator or as an entrepreneur. So you need to always push yourself. You cannot expect somebody else to come and push you or motivate you. You need to get it from within. That is the most important step that I would suggest to everyone, because whenever you start anything, it may look that it is not possible at all, right? There is a favorite quote of mine, like 1,000 miles journey start with a single step. So that is possible only when you keep motivating yourself without worrying about how big we are going to achieve. You enjoy the process rather than the outcome, is what is also a wonderful quote by people who are successful. So they always enjoy the process. So you need to keep pushing yourself in order to doing good things, so that eventually the further things will fall in place. So with this I end this session. Happy engineering, management, humanities and sciences, or whatever course you are doing, whatever program of study you are doing. So this is applicable for every student. It is even applicable for school students and anyone who have graduated already or working in various job environments. This design thinking is going to be a game changer for you in your life. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. So this is myself, Dr. Raghbir, PhD in Learning Technologies, ex-professor of VIT University Vellore, advisor to leading institutes to implement their learning management system, learning content management system. I have been a design practitioner also for a while, and also strategist for enhancing the quality of science, technology, engineering and management education across the country. You may connect to me in LinkedIn, in my LinkedIn ID given on the page.